India is committed to improving telecom access to rural communities all over. India has 1.16 billion people, and large number of these people live in rural areas. In fact, our effort to improve rural communications started in mid-80s. Then the focus was on improving access, developing smaller rural exchanges, using Indian technology, Indian talent to suit Indian conditions, with emphasis on local ancillary industries. Then we developed series of digital products to suit Indian heat and dust, and based on those set up what we call STD PCOs. These were community phone centers at tea shops, bus stands, pharmacies, operated by private parties to create lots of jobs where revenue could be split between telephone company and the local rural operator. This simple concept created access to telephone in rural areas almost 20 years ago. Then we had 2 million telephones for 750 million people. In the last 20 years, we have come a long way. We have not only digitized our own network, built substantial human capacity in digital, telecom, IT, software space. Today, we have over 700 million mobile phones. We are adding 10 million every year, year after year. We are a nation of connected billion people. In the process, we have created a very large software industry of our own, where we earn $70 billion a year through software services export. We have our own multinationals known world over. We have global recognition and a very large pool of talent in IT, software, telecom, and related technologies. Our next big challenge is to really provide broadband to rural areas, because we recognize that the business models have changed with internet and web. We recognize that web and internet will have far-reaching implications on delivering public services, improving governance, providing better education, better health services, and as a result, our real challenge is to connect broadband to rural India. We essentially have two programs underway right now. First one is to connect 1,500 nodes to close to 40 gigabit bandwidth to connect all our major universities, R&D laboratories, libraries, to really increase sharing of information amongst our research and academic institutions. This program is going to cost us about $2 billion. It's already underway. It's known as National Knowledge Network. We have already connected about 200 of these nodes and will be connecting through this Indian experts to global community. Second big program, which is really aimed at rural governance, in a sense, local governments called panchayats, where we are connecting 250,000 panchayats to broadband optical fiber with hundreds of megabits of bandwidth. This program is being designed now. It is really aimed at providing broadband to improve not only working of the local government, to collect data related to infant mortality, female literacy, agricultural produce, training, training of health workers, training of agricultural workers, but also education and lots of health services. Connectivity is one piece of the puzzle. We need to create content, applications, relevant, useful applications in local language that people can use on a day-to-day basis. But the broadband connectivity also requires various other platforms. With broadband connectivity, we also have a program for ID, where we give one unique number to every resident in the country. This is a program where we'll have to provide billion people with new ID number. This ID number then would be used to simplify banking, financial services, and all of the government services, whether it has to do with food distribution, buying local gas from the gas authority, opening a bank account, or getting entitlement like pension and others from the government. On top of this UID, we are building a platform for GIS, so we can begin to tag every physical space where our courts are, schools are, hospitals are, bridges are. With it, we need cyber security infrastructure, application infrastructure, and ultimately payment infrastructure. On application, for example, we have hundreds of applications for government, starting from passport to driver's license, food distribution, employment guarantee schemes. Each of these programs today are in vertical silos. We need to connect through UID these programs. In a way, we could improve productivity, efficiency, and reduce cost, and at the same time, improve delivery of public services. We look at IT in rural areas as the key tool for delivering public services of tomorrow. In a sense, we want to democratize information. Normally, information is power. Not many people like to share. Our job is to democratize information and create open government for transparency, accountability. For example, we are also looking at electronic means of tendering, portal for purchasing all of the government services. We have huge portals for things like water, biodiversity, environment, energy. All of these portals are going to be accessible to rural community once we have the broadband connectivity in rural areas. But with connectivity, not only we need applications, we also need local talent. So we plan to build capacity with 2 or 3 young people in every panchayat, with hardware, software, to really use broadband as the new tool for nation building. Once we connect 250,000 panchayats to optical fiber, we will also build tower, so that through this tower you can use WiMAX, 3G, 4G technology to connect local entrepreneurs, local businesses, hospitals, schools, colleges, shops to this fiber hub to connect them to the national and international network. Lot of this would require public-private partnership. Government alone cannot do all of these things. We need private parties to come in to provide connectivity to large number of customers, provide services to institutions like schools and colleges and railway stations and all that. We need people to develop applications. We need people to build capacity, train people, install computers, power supplies, all of that. So there is huge business opportunity for private businesses. But the backbone infrastructure will have to be built by government, mainly because our telephone company has the kind of reach that you need in rural areas, and not private entrepreneurs have gone to these areas with fiber to connect some of these nodes. So wherever it makes sense to bring in private, we need to bring in private to improve productivity and efficiency. But in a sense, it's a very large national program which will require us to set up infrastructure to connect 250,000 panchayats. On top of that, we'll create platforms for these 5-6 services that I earlier mentioned. It's going to be open source platform. Later on, we'll publish APIs, and young entrepreneurs will be able to write variety of applications and develop new services. It is indeed an opportunity for public-private partnership in the long run.